The legendary B-2 Spirit stealth bomber has returned, more advanced and deadlier than ever. Once a Cold War secret, this engineering marvel has been reborn with technology that feels decades ahead of its time. From hypersonic readiness to near invisibility, the Spirit's new upgrades have sent rival nations scrambling to catch up. Why are experts calling it the most advanced bomber in history? And what does its rebirth mean for the future of global defense? Let's uncover the secrets behind the upgraded B-2. Spirit, the B-2 has just received a series of upgrades that defense analysts describe as almost unbelievable for an aircraft that first took flight over 30 years ago. What was once a product of Cold War innovation has been reshaped into a platform built for the next generation of warfare. At the core of these changes is a system known as Spirit Realm 1, or SR-1. This open mission system allows the bomber to add new weapons and capabilities through software updates. No costly hardware overhauls required. Thanks to this framework, the B-2 can now integrate advanced munitions like the GBU-72 bunker buster, and could soon even carry hypersonic missiles, all without taking the aircraft apart. Engineers have adopted a software factory approach, enabling teams to design, test, and deploy new features far faster than ever before. This method not only reduces defects, but ensures smooth compatibility with the B-2's existing avionics. Inside the cockpit, pilots now operate with upgraded displays that provide real-time battlefield data, helping them plan, adapt, and strike with greater precision. Communication systems have also been modernized, replacing the old single-channel setup with simultaneous voice and data transmission for smoother coordination in flight. One of the most critical improvements lies in satellite communications. Using beyond line-of-sight connectivity, crews can now receive live mission updates and targeting data even deep inside enemy territory. This real-time adaptability makes every B-2 mission more flexible and effective. Stealth remains the Spirit's defining strength, and engineers have made it even sharper. A specialized survivability team has refined both hardware and software to further reduce the bomber's radar signature. These tools allow pilots to detect and classify enemy air defenses, all while staying virtually invisible. This modernization builds on earlier upgrades from the Defensive Management System Modernization program, which improved the aircraft's electronic warfare suite. The B-2 can now identify threats, gather electronic intelligence, and remain hidden from radar at the same time. These updates come at a crucial moment. Both Russia and China have been developing advanced radar networks and missile systems specifically designed to counter stealth aircraft. Keeping the B-2 ahead of those threats is vital, especially since it remains America's only long-range penetrating bomber. Today, only 19 B-2s remain in service after 2 were lost in past incidents. Each one undergoes a full overhaul roughly every 9 years, including structural maintenance and the reapplication of radar-absorbing coatings. With such a small fleet, every aircraft is essential to maintaining the U.S. ability to strike targets anywhere on Earth. The B-2 can deliver up to 40,000 pounds of conventional or nuclear weapons and, with aerial refueling, reach intercontinental distances without ever being detected. Until the new B-21 Raider enters service later this decade, the Spirit remains the backbone of America's deep strike capability. The Spirit Realm 1 program ensures the bomber never falls behind. With constant software upgrades instead of major redesigns, the Air Force can keep the B-2 ready for emerging threats and new technologies. Defense officials believe these changes will keep the aircraft relevant well into the 2030s. A design born in the 1980s has once again proven its brilliance, showing that innovation never truly ages. The world's most expensive aircraft has now advanced to a point where it seems to defy radar itself. How can something larger than half a football field vanish from the most sophisticated detection systems on Earth? The answer lies in the B-2's revolutionary design. Instead of vertical fins and sharp edges, the B-2 was built as a seamless flying wing. This shape scatters radar waves in multiple directions rather than reflecting them back, making the aircraft nearly impossible to track. The entire surface is covered in a special radar-absorbing coating that converts radar energy into heat instead of reflecting it. Maintaining this stealth layer is a meticulous process. Each B-2 is kept in climate-controlled hangars, and every 9 years the coating is carefully reapplied. The process costs millions per aircraft, but without it, the Spirit would lose its greatest advantage. Even its engines are built for stealth. Four General Electric F-118 engines are buried deep within the wing, their air intakes shaped to block radar waves from reaching the turbine blades. The exhaust system mixes hot gases with cool outside air to reduce heat emissions, minimizing its infrared signature. Heat-absorbing tiles, similar to those used on the space shuttle, shield the bomber from heat tracking systems, even at altitudes above 50,000 feet. One of the most remarkable innovations is the contrail management system. Most high-altitude aircraft leave long vapor trails that expose their position. The B-2 can suppress these contrails when needed, erasing one of the most common signs of its presence. Stealth systems on the B-2 are brought together by a setting called penetration mode, engaged with a button marked pen. When activated, it synchronizes the bomber's stealth systems to reduce radar, infrared, and visual signatures. Enemy radar crews often report nothing more than background noise while the B-2 is in this mode. The flying wing concept isn't new. Jack Northrop tested it with the YB-49 in 1947, which had a wingspan similar to today's B-2. Germany also experimented with a comparable design in World War II, the Horten Ho 29, but lacked the materials and precision engineering that made the American design practical decades later. Much of the B-2's stealth science traces back to Soviet research. In 1962, physicist Petro Fimtsev published key work on how electromagnetic waves interact with surfaces. Initially theoretical, those principles were later applied by American engineers to create the B-2's radar-deflecting shape. What started in textbooks became the basis for an aircraft designed to slip past advanced air defenses. The B-2 Spirit combines geometry, radar-absorbing materials, buried engines, and thermal management into one design, making it extremely difficult to detect with conventional tracking. For air defense crews, the conclusion is simple. You can't shoot down what you can't see, hear, or lock onto. Even with cutting-edge stealth, the aircraft is only as effective as the crew. Since the program began, fewer than 300 pilots have been trusted to fly the B-2, a tiny fraction of the Air Force and one of the most selective flying communities in military history. Selection goes far beyond stick and rudder skill. Candidates face deep psychological screening. Personality, stress tolerance, and teamwork are evaluated because missions can last nearly 2 days with 2 people confined in a tight cockpit. Physical reflexes and steady hands are essential for tasks like aerial refueling, and the B-2's unique flying wing aerodynamics require training almost from scratch, even for seasoned pilots. Security vetting is equally strict. Background checks. Probe personal history, family ties, and finances to reduce the risk of coercion or compromise. Training includes months in advance simulators that reproduce every system, warning and emergency, engine failures, electrical issues, combat scenarios, and extreme weather. Only those who make fast, correct decisions under pressure advance. Mission commanders get extra instruction in weapons, navigation, and electronic countermeasures. On long sorties, the pilot flies the aircraft, while the commander manages the systems. Both roles must work seamlessly for missions that can approach 48 hours without landing. The B-2 cockpit places crew side by side in ejection seats, improving communication on long missions but forcing pilots to adapt to a wider forward view. All operational B-2s fly from a single base, Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, where climate-controlled hangars protect the bomber's delicate stealth coatings. Crews often spend weeks away from home preparing for missions. Most B-2 pilots fly only a handful of missions a year. The fleet is small and each airplane is slightly different, so pilots rotate between airframes to stay sharp. For many, flying the B-2 is the pinnacle of a career. After leaving the program, many remain connected as instructors or contractors because the training is so specialized. That scarcity creates challenges. Commanders must balance mission needs, rest, and training carefully. Each pilot represents years of investment and cannot be replaced quickly, part of what makes the B-2 community so exclusive. Those pilots prove their value in missions still studied today. In 1999 over Kosovo, 2 B-2s flew 31-hour missions from Whiteman, struck priority targets in the Balkans, and returned non-stop, a dramatic demonstration of reach and precision. Though the B-2 flew less than 1% of sorties in Operation Allied Force, It destroyed nearly one-third of priority targets in the conflict's first 8 weeks. In 2001, the bomber Spirit of America set a record during Operation Enduring Freedom, a non-stop 44-hour combat mission from Missouri to Afghanistan and back. It had a brief 45-minute crew swap on the ground while engines stayed running, then launched again for another 30-hour sortie, more than 70 continuous hours of operation. Each B-2 can carry up to 40,000 pounds of guided munitions, with the accuracy to engage high-value targets other aircraft couldn't. Long missions depend on aerial refueling, typically every 6 hours, requiring flawless coordination with KC-135 tankers. The B-2 quickly became the preferred first strike platform, entering heavily defended airspace other aircraft couldn't, eliminating key defenses, and opening the way for follow-on forces. That first strike role is now standard practice. What made the B-2 invaluable was its global reach and speed, the ability to strike high-value targets anywhere in the world within hours, without needing nearby bases or staging areas. Straight from the United States, the B-2 Spirit could fly halfway across the world and still complete its mission. Its advanced navigation systems allowed it to strike targets accurately in any condition. Using radar and GPS-guided bombs, it could hit through thick clouds, heavy storms, or complete darkness. Enemies quickly learned that bad weather could no longer protect them. Every mission proved that the billions spent on stealth technology and long-range strike power were worth it. The B-2 consistently achieved major objectives while keeping aircrews safe and minimizing civilian casualties. Planning these missions was as demanding as the flights themselves. Crews spent hours studying maps, enemy defenses, weather, and backup targets before even stepping into the cockpit. In many cases, the preparation lasted longer than the actual flight. After each operation, mission reviews showed the same results. The B-2 hit its targets more precisely than traditional bombing campaigns, while needing far fewer aircraft and weapons to do the job. Despite its unmatched combat record, America's most advanced bomber now faces a troubling challenge that threatens national security. The question is simple: why are these rare aircraft disappearing one by one? During the Cold War, the United States planned to build 132 B-2 Spirit bombers. Defense companies geared up for massive production runs, expecting costs to drop once assemblies scaled up.